And welcome, everybody. 505 interview series is back from our break. And boy, am I excited tonight to have my guest on. We've got Alan from Family by Loyalty Cigars who will be joining us. And special co-host from the Herf Nerders, our buddy Suran will be my special guest host. So I'm excited to have these two on. I've been really impressed with Family by Loyalty recently. A brand I really kind of found out about from TPE and really got to know at PCA. So I want to know more about this brand. I want you all to know more about this brand. And of course, I got a couple of sticks that will be smoking tonight while we're hanging out with Alan and Suran, and we will find out more. So without further ado, let me bring on the co-host, Suran, and then we will bring on the guest of honor, Alan. And here we go. And we've got Suran.
What's up, Dan?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Boy, am I excited, man, for this. Thank you for having me, because this is a treat. These cigars are phenomenal, and I got to first smoke them last week, and I can't wait to share this with your viewers, and together with Alan, who's an incredible guy.
Yeah, excellent. Well, you said Alan, so let's bring Alan on right now. There he is, Alan from Family by Loyalty. How you doing, man?
What's up, brother?
What's up? How y'all doing?
Yeah, we are doing great. Welcome to the show. And of course, all of Suran's fan club has decided they're going to join us tonight.
I don't know about that, man. Sheldon, what's up, brother? Alan, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Listen, I just came back. Well, I just hopped off the Eva Empire live. We had a good time there. Before that, I came back from pouring my brother's ashes in the ocean.
Oh, wow.
I told you back in December he passed away, so I had my sister came through with her family, his best friend came through with his family, and me and my family went there, and we just laid his ashes to rest. But I feel good, I'm not feeling sad. I feel good,
Good.
You know what I mean? And when we talk about it, we'll talk about the brand a little bit. I'll tell you how my brother plays a factor.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. So, Alan, for those people who may be watching or who may watch the replay of this later, let's let everybody know about who you are, and then we'll get talking into the brand. So, go on ahead.
So, by the way, if you don't know, I'm Alan Sanabria. I'm one of the brand owners of Family by Loyalty. My brother Ernie's not here right now. But about me, listen, I'm a down-to-earth, straight shooting person. Treat everybody the way I want to be treated. And, I'm a day job, I'm a programmer. Every time after that, I'm a cigar hustler, and I'm a family man, right? And for me, it's about meeting great people, vibe with great people, and keep your circle not small, but keep your circle with only people that help you elevate who you are. You know what I mean? And not just in a financial way. Help elevate you in a moral way.
Yeah.
Right?
Spiritual.
Spiritual,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, that's imperative that the people I surround myself, I like that. It's like when I met you, Danny, you know what I mean? I've always seen your lives, never got to talk with you, but when I saw your person, we immediately vibe. Suran, the first time you hit me a message, you said, hey, let's talk. We talked. I vibe with you from that moment, right? That to me, what this is about, what I'm about, you know what I mean? I'm not the best salesperson out there. I'm a passionate salesperson, but if I don't vibe with you, I don't vibe with you. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
So is that kind of, that's a great lead in, your story about what you did today.
Well, 1 second. 1 second. You're smoking a skull. Danny, what are you smoking?
The Fenrir.
Fenrir. All right, pipe size? Fenrir. I'm going to do Fenrir pipe size. All right, you got the skull there. All right.
I have the skull, which will be the next one I light up when I finish this one. So, I'll try that one out. But right off the bat, this is a heavy hitter right off the bat, is what I can say.
I had the Robusto Fenrir on Saturday, and I had the pleasure. Alan popped in the live, and I happened to be smoking it, and it was a pleasure to smoke a cigar with the person that is pervading it and his expression. But you talked about your brother today. Much respect, much sympathies. I know it's something that took a while to do today. And you talked about how you met with Danny and also Joe from the Evil Empire. I know you guys hit it off really well. They're all like Danny and Joe. They're cool guys. And we always consider the cigar community as a family. So your brand, so it's Sia Cigars, but this is called Family by Loyalty.
By Loyalty, yeah. Yeah, and that's the reason. So Family by Loyalty is how I live my life. It's how my business partner and brother from another mother, Ernie, lives his life. It's how my brother lives his life. It's how my wife lives her life, right? Like, you can't choose the blood that you're born into. You can't choose your mother, dad, brother, sister, cousins, right? But you damn sure can choose the people you keep around you, the people that are gonna be by your side, the ride or die, right? And my brother, the one that passed away, let me tell you, to the day he died, he didn't know, I didn't know if my father is actually my father. There's a lot of rumors going through my family based on that. But if you told my brother that I was not his blood, you'll get decked in 2 seconds flat, right across your jaw. My sister who came over, which is his adopted sister, let somebody tell him that's not your sister. He'll pop you right in the mouth, right? Like his best friend who's here with us today at the Ashes. Yo, that was his ride or die. And again, Family by Loyalty is not just our brand for our cigars, it's how we live. It's our life. It's our lifestyle. Right? So then, when we go back to the cigars now, we call it Family by Loyalty. Why do we choose the wolves? Because the wolf pack, you gotta be blood to be family. You gotta be loyal. Right?
Yes, sir.
And why we chose Nordic mythology? For the same reasons. Odin got the two wolves, Freki and Jerry, twin wolves. Those are his protectors, his guards, his attack dogs. Right? They'll fight with their whole lives for him. Right? Which is why they have the same binder, same filler, same blend. Different wrappers. Hati and Skull, the wolves of Fenrir, the Fenrir's kids. But Hati and Skull, Hati's devourer of the moon, which is why it's a gray band. Skull, devourer of the sun, which is why it's a yellow band. Right? Same binder, same wrapper, same blend. But different wrappers. Then we got Fenrir, Endbringer, which is why we chose red. Right? And again, all cigars, our brand, our marketing, all unite as one.
So that is, I'm gonna let Dan take it from here. But I got to know you a couple of weeks ago. I had a Freki, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. Somebody sent it to me in like one of the we send each other cigars all the time. I get cigars. I don't know who sent them to me. Somebody just all out of goodwill, right? It's hey, cigars that you ought to try. And the Freki spoke to me a lot, right? And that was the Freki in the Toro size. Spoke to me a lot. And then I got to know you. And for me, I love the story behind the cigar. It makes the cigar better for me. Which is what we're trying to, I think, convey to everybody here. And what's up, Will? So I'm not going to lie. I had the pipe size skull yesterday while I was walking my dog. But I love the fact that you have this whole story behind you're not a guy who just said, hey, let you go put out a cigar and get in the cigar business, right? You put this whole vibe, your personality, yourself into the brand, what you guys believe in. I love this whole Nordic theme that you have going on with the names, the spelling. It's just it's so beautiful looking.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And it's like there's a lot of thought that went into it. Like you said, there's a couple cigars, same binder, same filler, different wrapper, right? Same vitola. You know what I mean? You came out right off the bat with what? 6 different blends.
Five
blends.
5 different blends.
Right off the bat, which is big for a brand new cigar company. For.
So now that you mentioned that, I'm gonna say this: when I worked with Jonas was like, "Well, do you want us to blend it for you?" And I said, "No, sir. We're going to DR. We're gonna work with your master blender, okay? and we're gonna blend. I was like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah,
I'm
Papa
like,
de
yes.
Caballo, who's
Yes.
tremendous blender. Tremendous
Yeah.
blender.
But not only tremendous blender, one of the most humble people I met in my life.
Mm.
One of the most humble people I met in my life. So I told him my whole life story, and because we're smoking cigars the whole day, blending, right? And I'll tell you guys right now, first day we didn't pick not one cigar. Okay. At the end of the first day, my partner Ernie says to Papo in Spanish, "I'm sorry that my business partner is a little anal." You know, don't apologize for him. Don't apologize for him. This is good. This is good. Second day, 9:30 in the morning, all the way to 10 o'clock at night. Still haven't picked a cigar yet. Right? Sergio from Cigars Podcast was there with us as a third wheel, also help us out, right? And Sergio says to Papo, he pulls aside, he didn't want me to hear him, right? "Hey, I'm sorry about Alan. You know, he's a little picky." And Papo said to him, "Stop apologizing for this man. He knows what he wants, and I have yet to make it for him." And then the following morning, he couldn't sleep. He was up the whole night blending, thinking
Papo.
of how to impress me. He got to the factory at 5 in the morning. He opened the factory himself 5 in the morning, and he had blends ready for me when I came in. Based on what we've been talking about, what I was looking for, because I told him from the very beginning, more than one transition. Flavor over strength. Right? From the very beginning. So
You're talking music to me and Dan's ears, man. This is what we're all about when it comes to cigars. Yeah.
So one thing I didn't tell you guys yet was that I told him about my story with 9/11. So, story 9/11 is I was living in New York City, working a tech job. I was working at the Mercantile Exchange and the second tower, the Twin Towers. We had an office. I forgot exactly the floor. It was like close to 80 something. My wife and I that morning had an argument because she says to me, I was supposed to be off that week because that was anniversary. 9/9's anniversary, right? I didn't take off. So she was like, "I need you to go to the bank." And I said, "I can't go to the bank. I'm running late. I got to go." And she said, "No, you have to go to the bank. I need you to go to the bank. We got to pay our rent." Right? And we're arguing. I was like, "No." Anyway, of course I did it. She's the boss. Right? Went to the bank first. When I get to the first the Twin Towers underneath it, to the PATH train, it was empty. And I was like, "Why is this place empty? This place is never empty. I'm running late." So I didn't go to the second tower because since I was running late, I had a meeting to run to at the Mercantile Exchange, which is about 500, 600 feet from the towers. So I'm walking through the towers. I'm walking through underneath. Nobody's there. I get outside. My boys out there say, "Al, you okay? You okay?" I'm like, "What do you mean if I'm okay?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Bro, the plane just hit." I'm like, "What plane?" I was fat as fuck then. I ran my happy ass to the Mercantile Exchange, got to the 13th floor. When I got to the 13th floor, I looked out the window. When I looked out the window, the second plane was coming. Okay? I caught that last, I ran to the train station, the N train. Caught the last N train out of Manhattan to Brooklyn.
Wow.
Right? So, that's why I don't tell people this, but one of the way Blackbird marks the cigars, they mark it by number codes. So one of my blends is named 9/11. And Papo did that purposely based on my story.
Wow, bro. I think most people will never forget where they were when that happened. I don't.
I don't either.
So before you go there, I just want to say, imagine if my wife did not argue with me that morning.
Exactly.
I would not be here talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, even last year, 20th anniversary, right? This was all over, all day long, and they were playing, the footage, and everything like that. But it's a different thing when you were there, right there, and blessing to your wife. And I know you and I have been talking about her quite a bit for having that argument with you.
Yeah, trust me, it was.
Yeah, sometimes things happen for a reason out there, regardless of how you think or spiritually or religiously.
Yeah.
Sometimes the universe itself is watching out for you. It just happened to be your time that the universe was on your side, even if you weren't thrilled by what caused the universe to be on your side. It was on your side.
Trust me, I know that, man. I mean, when I got home, she was freaking out because she didn't even watch TV that early. She just actually normally not up when she's on vacation. She's just like, I'm away from TV. But imagine her mom calling and says, um, the building your husband works for just fell down. So she was like, what? Turned the TV on, and now you notice all the cell towers are down. So she couldn't call me. I couldn't call her. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
The non-communicated part is it's tough. I'm going through that right now with my father, who lives in Sri Lanka, and they don't have any electricity or fuel over there. And I haven't been able to get a hold of my father in a month. And I try every morning.
Damn.
But all right, all right, we're getting back, dude. We bring on Alan from Family by Loyalty, and here we are. God, bro. So I am so impressed, and you know me, I smoke a different cigar every day.
Yeah.
3 different cigars every day. I am so impressed with what you have put out in such a short period of time. And you're a nice guy, bro. One of the nicest people I've met in the industry so far. Just very true, but nice only gets you so far. This is a lot of work, and it shows because the cigars are good. They're not just good; they're great. That Frecky pipe size.
Thank you, Sheldon.
One of the highest scores I've given this year. You know what I mean? So it's an honor, and so far I was looking forward to lighting this up with you and Dan because it's a Cuba wrapper, right? And I love Cuba. I love cigars that have Brazilian Cuba in it. I like the sweetness, the burn, the little pepper note, the depth, chocolate, earth, coffee. I love that. I have yet to. Whenever there's a cigar that has a Cuba wrapper, I'm like, hey, let me try it out.
And let me tell you, when we started blending cigars, Jonas and I talked about it. He's like, Alan, you want to start off with 2 blends or what? And we did start off with 2 blends initially, Frankie and Jerry. But when I said we're going to go TPE, I said, no, I want 5 blends. He's like, bro, you're just starting off. Be easy. And I said, no, because here's the problem right now. We made Frankie and Jerry, but it doesn't mean, let's say you smoke Frankie and Jerry. You may not like it. But maybe Danny may have liked Frankie, not Jerry, right? So I said, no. We need to have a total of 5 blends for TPE. Because I want to make sure at least whoever comes to my desk, my booth, will like 1 cigar. At least 1. Maybe 2. Because, again, palates are subjective. We all know that, guys. Palates are extremely subjective. So, and that's the reason why we did 5. And when I decided to do 5, finally, I'll tell you this much. A lot of people will give me advice which says that's a wrong move, that's a bad move. But Jonas actually said to me afterwards, he says, bro, it's the best move you did, doing the 5 lines.
Yeah. I'm more power to you on that. So far I'm digging the Fenrir actually quite a bit. It's definitely a stick that's in my wheelhouse, power-wise, flavor-wise. Right now, it's hitting on all cylinders. I'm really starting to get the drool going. The moisture in the mouth is starting to pick up. I'm really enjoying this a lot. Based upon what you said, going with that Nordic mythology on did the blends kind of, when you smoked this and you're coming up with the names, was the Nordic mythology already in your head when you had it, or was it something that came afterwards?
It was already in the works, Nordic mythology. So I can tell you this: Frankie and Jerry were the first 2, right? Then when we got our 3rd blend on the 3rd day of blending with Papo, and he gave me the Connecticut, which is Hottie, to smoke. And I was like, oh, I love this cigar so much. This is probably the best Connecticut I ever smoked. I was so happy. And he says, I have an idea.
It's a little bit of a fuller body Connecticut in the beginning.
Yeah, but listen, I was so happy with it. He saw my expression. He saw how happy I was, right? He was like, and so Hottie and Skull 911. Just so you know, those are the 911 ones. He was so impressed with my expression. He said, "I'll be right back." He rolled the same blend, with the Kuba wrapper. And when I smoked it, I fell in love with it. He says to me, "It's only same binder, same filler, same blend, different wrappers." And when I smoked it, I was like, Hottie and Skull immediately. Right? Boom. So I had Frecky, Jerry, Hottie, and Skull. And then when he came up, when we were blending Fenrir was the last one we got on the final day. Because we were looking for something with sweetness, real deep sweetness, deep chocolate, deep earth tones, some pepper to it, right? This is what we were looking for the final cigar. And I said, this has to be Fenrir. And he made it first, not in box press. And I was like, this cigar's okay. But I'm not sold yet. And then Sergio from Cigars Podcast says, Papo, do me a favor. Can you box press that? He goes, but I can't. A box press won't hold for 24 hours. It'll look box press, but it'll real quick become circular again.
Yeah, soft pressing, we call it.
Yeah, so I was like, just try it. I agree with Sergio, just try it. He did that. We smoked it the next day. We're like, this is it. This is fucking it. Right? Boom. And literally, we had all the wolves, and there's more wolves in Nordic mythology. But it was based on the blend. That when we got it, how it worked out, that it worked out perfectly.
Does Nordic mythology play in your personal life? Were you a big fan? I
was always a fan, but I've been a fan of wolves, dogs, since I was 5. You gotta remember something, guys. Because I was not a big believer in blood family, my dog was always there for me. So I always loved dogs, always loved wolves.
I can relate to that.
That's every man out there. Every man prefers their dog. Yeah,
dogs are descendants of wolves, right?
Yep. So it was that, and then all my close friends growing up, like I said, we were all family. So it all just made sense to me.
Now I heard about you a little bit before TPE, not a whole lot. And I kept trying to get over to your booth to come and see you, but it just didn't work out there. But I made it a point for PCA to seek you out like right from the start. And I'm so glad I did, because I had such a great time hanging out at your booth. I had a great time at some of the event stuff going on the night before, talking with you and hanging out. That it was one of those experiences that I think was, for me, one of the best experiences I had to come out of Vegas.
And for me, what was important about PCA for me was really the relationships and connections. Like, for instance, meeting you in person, meeting Joe in person, meeting the master blender for the Art of Cigar, Don Luis, meeting his crew, right? Meeting the crew from Alex Martinez Cigars, hanging out with Jonathan London and becoming cool with him, hanging out with Lee from Steelhouse Cigars, becoming cool with him, right? Osvaldo and I have already been cool, but us two hanging out, right? It was, that to me was the biggest blessing of PCA.
Yeah,
I'm gonna share something that's very, very, very near and dear to my heart, by the way, right? And I said this over the weekend. I am a little stickler for labels on cigars, and the fact that
there you go.
Did we lose? Oh, crap. All right. Well, it's a good thing we have two hosts.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I was fiddling with the background here.
The fact that you have this little tab, right, where the CS Cigars, that's your logo, right, and you have this little tab. See how easy that was, everybody?
Yeah. And I will I won't take credit for that, guys. You know what I give credit for?
That's how Blackbird has theirs set up as well.
Jonas has the same. So you won't be surprised that mine and Steph's cigar, the Herfner cigar, the chosen one, has the same thing. It's our logo, and that's the tab, right? Not as nicely done as yours, right? We were a little, small batch, garage style, right? But I have a huge appreciation for that. What I am most interested in for me today is how does Alan, the data programmer, right, and the engineer decide to do this?
All right.
And not only decide to do this, the level in which you did this. Because you launched in January.
Yeah.
With 5 blends, with this tremendous branding, the tremendous story behind it. You went down. What's up, Joey? You went down the DR. You could have been like normal human beings and said, all right, just send me test blends, Papa, right? You could have said that, but no, you went to the DR. You had to go to the factory. You had to experience it all. You had to, control your expression that you wanted to put out. That was very important to you. So the level in which you did it is incredible. So explain how you got there.
So I started smoking cigars about 22 years ago, right? It was my wife's best friend's husband who gave me my first Cuban cigar ever. And I've always wanted to smoke cigars because I was a big fan of Sopranos, right? So I was like, oh, I gotta friggin' smoke a cigar, right? So he gave me my first cigar, and I was like, wow, I like this. I enjoyed it. But I still didn't know shit about cigars yet. Then my coworker happens to live in PA like I did, and we both commuted to New York, and we worked at the same company. So he's like, hey, why don't we just commute together? He's like, you like cigars? I'm like, hell yeah. So he started bringing cigars. He was a big cigar connoisseur. He's smoking now, almost 40 years now he's smoking. So.
And y'all are smoking on your commute.
Yes.
Dude,
so then,
all my friends up in the Northeast, they smoke while they're driving in their cars. Don't they, Dan?
My car smelled like an ashtray. I'm going to say that right now. But we would commute, and he'd be like, what flavors you got? Literally. The whole ride we're talking, and we're talking about cigars, work. But he's always, he's like, man, for someone who just started smoking, your palate, you're picking up stuff. And then, boom, just kept smoking. Then I met the guys from Atlantic Cigars. They had a lounge in Stroudsburg, PA. And I became really cool with them. And I would go into their back office. They'll give me cigars from there. They just got from DR, from Nicaragua, some Cubans they got. I became really tight with them. And during that time, I told my brother and my cousin, I said, yo, one day I'm going to have my own cigar brand. Y'all see. One day. So about a year after the pipe business started, that's when I said to Ernie, it's time to do the cigar business. I want my own brand. And I saved up quite a bit of money, right? And I said to Ernie, listen, we're gonna do this. We're going big, right? We're gonna go hard. And I went through a few different factories, and I didn't have enough money for the buy-in. Some of these factories wanted $100,000 buy-in, $500,000 buy-in, right? And when I got to Jonas Blackbird, he was like, you can buy 2,000 sticks. You can start off there and go from there. And when we were talking, that's how we started with Frecky and Jerry, right? Flew down there, got the blends. And then I was like, nah, I need 5. And because one thing about me, guys, I'm anal as fuck. If I love something, I'm 500% in, 1,000% in, or I'm 0. That's the type of person I am. I don't half step anything, dude. I don't half ass anything. If it's my passion, I love it, I go hard.
I think this is why you and I get. This is why we get along.
That's why we get along. That's why we get along. If you can't,
two speeds.
If you can't give a minimum of 110% to me, I'm not interested in wanting to do business with you. I'm not. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want anything to do with you. You got to give me a minimum of 110% because that's the minimum I'm gonna give you.
Yeah, and that's just who I am, guys. Like, I'm either in, I'm fucking in. Like, if I say we family, we family. Right? And when I say family, I'm saying, yo, what you need? I'm there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But if I don't vibe with you, you're going to know because I ain't going to talk to you. I, I don't give a fuck about sales. You know, like,
Mm.
it is what it is. I'm doing this for the love, for the passion.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a businessman, but I'm doing it for the love and passion. You know, and he says the analytical mind is going to follow and track every part. Yeah, it's true.
That is true.
Listen,
It is.
I'm very anal. Listen, I control most of the stuff that we do in the cigar business because Ernie says it, his wife says it, my wife says it. I'm like, yo, don't give me crap. If you don't give me crap, move out my way. I'm gonna do it. Like everything has to fit. Has to fit 100%. You know.
Yeah.
But Ernie, man, he has a great palate. He's a great person. He's my ride or die. Like, I know for a fact, like, if I pass away tomorrow, he's gonna double his workload. And he's gonna figure out how to take care of my family.
Mm.
Right? And that's why he's my partner. He's my partner because I know no matter where I go, if something pops off, that little man is gonna get scrappy and he's gonna be all over your ass like a spider.
Yep. Yeah, I can relate to that. I had previous partners. You and I talked on the phone about this, right? And after all these years, you find out that they don't have your back.
What's up, Chuck?
Then you gotta make a move, and you gotta put yourself in a better situation. And any lawyer that you go to and say you want to start a business with a partner, the first question, do you need him? Right?
Yeah.
And if that answer is yes, I can't do this without him, and if we're simpatico, he'll pick up where I leave off, same vice versa, then you go do it. Otherwise,
for me, it's about trust. It's about trust and loyalty.
Yeah.
And I see this to a lot of people all the time. And you don't have to understand me. And this is just be honest. If I vibe with you, if I feel that you're family, I don't care if it's day one. And Ernie would tell you this. When I met Ernie on day one, I said, you don't realize this. You and I are going to be brothers. 4 months later, he's like, I don't know how the fuck you knew this. But yo, you're closer to me than my blood brother. Jonas gave me a hard fucking way to go, guys. A hard fucking way to go.
So how did you hook up with Blackbird and choose them as your factor? And then get this close to Jonas?
From day one, I love this marketing. I love this branding. And when I teach the cigars, they had great construction, perfect draw, right?
Yes.
Good flavor. And I was like, I can work with him. And let me tell you, he didn't like me. I'll tell you why he didn't like me. Because when I started the pipe business first, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, how do people do these giveaways? Do they take their own money and give out all these free cigars? And so I hit up a few people, and they said to me, no, we asked the brand owners for a sample pack. They have to follow them. So, obviously, I hit up Blackbird, asked him a sample pack, and he got mad. He was like, another motherfucker asking me for free cigars.
Hey,
right?
But I think I'm the only one. I'm the only one who don't do that. I'm the only one.
He spends his money.
I spend my money and what I make off of my advertisers. Yeah. I reinvest all that back into for all the giveaways I do. I don't ask any manufacturers. When manufacturers give me stuff and go, hey, for a giveaway, I take it. Other than that, I don't. I'll never hit you up going, hey man, can I get cigars for a giveaway? I'll never do it. But if you go, hey, I'm sending you a $5 for a giveaway.
Like who in this business does a giveaway like 505?
No.
I've never seen it. I've never seen Padrones, Ezra, like fucking tens and like 50 cigars in this giveaway. You know what I mean?
I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going all out. I want people to have good gifts. I want them to have memorable gifts that, hey man, dude, this, I do the best giveaways in the industry. I'll admit that. Because I want you to be, I think that's one reason why I have some of the most interactive followings when I'm on lives or when I do lives, because I engage to the people, because I've been just a regular consumer for over 20 years, Plus, when I started this in 2019, I was at 0, and I've built it to where it's at now.
It's amazing. It's amazing, dude. So check it out. So when I go to him in person to tell him I want to do a brand, he says to me, you know how many people come to me every week to do their own brand? He goes, hundreds. And you know how many of them actually do it? not even a 1%,
Mm-hmm.
right? And bro, he was a dick with me. He'll tell you this. He was a dick with me. But you know, at the end of it, when I said, "Yo, okay," I said, "But you don't realize it. But you and I gonna be best friends." And he looked at me like, "All right." Fast forward a year later, after TPE, I go to DR with Jonas to blend a limited edition for my brother who passed away. I didn't get to do it. I didn't get to make that blend yet. And that weekend, what did Jonas and I do? We rented an Airbnb up in Samana, up in the mountain, overviewing the ocean, the mountain and everything. It was me, my wife, him, his wife, and his son.
Mm.
And we enjoyed the entire weekend together. And he said to my wife, we're all drinking, right? He goes, this motherfucker had the audacity to tell me I was going to be his best friend. And now I'm here with my family and his family. Fuck. Yeah, we're best friends
Yeah.
now.
In all
Yeah,
honesty, it doesn't surprise me at all. I've never met Jonas in person, and hopefully it would be an honor. But I watched, a lot of interviews he's done. I got to know him through an incredible Pravada cigar that he did called the Vince.
Yep.
Right. And I have 20 or 30 of them in my house. If there's a cigar that was ever blended for my flavor palette, that is it, hands down. Right.
Yeah.
But I watched. I watched the
this real quick.
Bobita interview.
He's humble as fuck. A lot of people don't know
Oh
that.
yeah,
But he's humble as
that's
fuck.
good. Yeah, I watched the Bobita interview with Rob Gagne at I think his first. I think it was called IPCPR back then, right? Every other interview that Bobita and Rob Gagne did was like 45 minutes, an hour. Fucking Jonas, hour 40 minutes. Go watch the video. Hour 40 minutes, and I've never seen anybody be as open and transparent and as real as Jonas. Everything was purely honest about himself, his personal life, his family, how he met his wife, how they got married, that I can relate to as well, right? He was a little bit more successful than I was at that, right? But he was never before. People won't ever say stuff like this in interviews. And then when he gets to his blends, and he's talking about Papo and how he came up with his blends and his marketing strategy, and he's talking about how he puts the wrapper on each of the labels, so your Cuco is Criollo, Unkind is Cubra, right? I think I got those right. And he believes in his product, and he's like, hey, there's no turning back. He has no turning back.
That's the thing, his story.
Right.
I mean, even though him and I have different stories.
But you're very similar in personality.
Yes, extremely similar, right? And like, the can't clip my wings is very important to him.
I love that. I love that. Love
right?
that. Yeah.
Which is why, like, he told me, he's like, bro, you need to keep your cigar business at CS Cigars. I'm like, it is. He goes, yeah, but you can always call it Family by Loyalty. He goes, that's more your phrase. I said, yeah, but Family by Loyalty is what we stand by. You know what I mean? And that's who we are. And I yes, CS Cigars is the main company, but Family by Loyalty is what we are, which should have been the name of the company, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
You know what? I kind of agree with him. Right?
No, it's fine, yeah.
The name of the company is one thing, right? This is what you do business as, right? Family by Loyalty is who you are spiritually, character. This is what you represent.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go one step further. You talk about your family, his family, and your friends, right?
Yeah.
I believe that this cigar and your brand has gotten, quite a bit of, under grassroots recognition, right? And people like Dan and I, we don't lie, man. We'll tell you just exactly like it is. And
yeah, of course.
But one thing, I have really gone into this cigar community and gotten really crazy about cigars is because of the cigar community, and a lot of people like them in the cigar community for me are like family, like that.
Yeah, I agree.
And very some Dan and I have never met face to face. I guarantee you, if we meet, we'd start talking like we we've known each other forever, right? But we have loyalty to each other.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's how it was. And when I finally met Joe in person in Vegas, it was like I've known him for 20 years. There was just this instant connection and bromance between us because I've spent so much time talking to him and doing things online with him and offline that when we finally met in person, it was just as if, man, I haven't seen you in like a year. Where you been, man? It was one of those great feelings.
Joe's sent me a DM like, hey, I got a favor I need to ask you. Yeah, sure, whatever, man. I'm trying to find this one cigar for my buddy. He really wants it, and I'm like driving up all down the Northeast trying to find the cigar for Joe. But that's how it is.
No, it's true. I mean, listen, I had the same relationship like Super Mario. He's not on the live. He's right now in Portugal right now with his family. But Super Mario pretty much like has been like a constant in my life since See a Cigar Pipe started. You know what I mean? And I get that. Trust me. Like for me to talk to you constantly, like for instance, ever since you and I met in person, I've been going in your lives almost all the time.
Yeah.
Why? Because I vibe with you. So the first moment we talk, Suran, I see you on live. I go on. I'll call you directly. Why? Because there's people that you guys are people, including Joe, people I vibe with, people that are truly friends that have no interest besides being friends. Like for you know what I mean? And that to me is super important because
different walks of life, different career paths, different whatever, right? When we have this in our hands, we're brothers.
And trust me, one thing: when we get big, trust me, y'all gonna be hanging out, chilling with us, and it'll be like, "Why?" I'm like, "It's family right here, bro. This is family. This is what it is."
But I think you're on that path because since TPE, I've been hearing so much from the community about the brand, and it's all been positive. It's all been good stuff. I've heard very little bad, and I gotta say, the couple people that have told me they haven't liked anything that they've smoked from you, I say I was burning my fingers finishing off that Fenrir. Yeah, I was burning my fingers on it. It was so good, So now I'm onto this skull right now. Yeah. So, I think you're one of those.
Dad, I'm going to tell you right now,
brands.
knowing your palate, you're going to love this. You're going to love the skull. You're going to love skull. This is all your flavor notes, bro. All your flavor notes, man.
I'm sure.
But Alan, I'll tell you a funny story, right? Great Smoke, February, right? And I just started this. I'm not an Instagram influencer or anything like that. I just post pictures and I got to know people like Dan and good people, right? Yeah. So I go to Great Smoke and this guy, I'm not going to mention the brand he's from, out of respect, right? Like literally follows me all the way down the hallway. Like, hey, Suran, hey. And we chatted, nice guy, right? Hands me he was like, I want to give you these 4 cigars, right? Because, I know you don't like our brand a whole lot and maybe you haven't smoked the right cigars and, we're with, these blends are coming out of this factory in Nicaragua now, blah, blah, blah. Can you do me a favor? Can you smoke them and post them? Right? I said, look, I'll try them. I'll give it a shot again, always, right? Especially if these are new blends and you have new ownership or whatever there is. But don't give me the cigar and expect me to post them because I will only post cigars that I like. Nobody gives me any cigars for free. I buy them all. People offer, I buy them. If they're good enough to buy, then I'll smoke it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have yet to ask you for a free cigar.
No.
Right? You kind of did me. You threw in a couple of pipe size. I'm glad you did because now I'm going to go buy a box of pipe size Frecky because this shit blew my mind, right? But
yeah,
did I feel like a dick saying that to him? But that's me, man. Don't give me cigars and then say, I'm going to go post them and say, oh, this is great, and it's not, and I didn't believe in it, right? I'll post.
You're staying true to your morals. You're staying true to your values, right?
That's 100%. Because like chalk, right? if I post a bad cigar and then Chalk goes out and buys it, and she goes, I'm smoking this because Suran said it's a good cigar, right? And then on the side I go, hey, honey, I lied.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what's funny? I want to change the subject real quick. You know, Danny, I was trying to flirt with you at PCA, hang out with me. You had no time for me, motherfucker. That's fine. I won't forget that shit. You hear me?
Dude, we flirted plenty at the bar when you were
Exactly.
when you were lit. We had plenty of we had plenty of flirty moments going on when you were hanging all over me. I was ready for you to drag me back to your room.
You know why?
Did Joe make you go to a Taco Bell and get a Baja Blast in Vegas?
Not me.
No, I was expecting that. You know.
No,
That's
you
his
know.
drug thing is
Joe
to go to Taco Bell and get a Baja Blast.
No, Joe ended up going to a club and hanging out with Shaq and some other celebrities, and didn't bother to invite me. You know, he's like, dude, we were hanging out with Shaq last night, and I was like, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you call me?
Out with Alan. You didn't miss much, bro.
Nah, I was hanging out with Alan. Dude, I was having way more fun with Alan all over me, getting ready to kiss my neck and stuff, man. I was just like, oh, which bar were we hanging out at? We were hanging out at that center bar there at the
Circle Bar.
The Circle Bar. Yeah, that was the bar we were at.
I remember telling him, I was like, yo, I don't like real motherfuckers, and I will go on your live, cause like I just vibe with him. It's just like, and when I drink, I'm more friendly than usual. And also a little more louder.
Yeah, we all are.
And what did I tell you? I said, dude, if you want on, you've got an open invite. And I don't care who's on, I'll boot them off for you if you want to come on. Every time you wanted to come on, I've brought you on every time you wanted to come on, man. I'm a man of my word.
No, you are. No, you definitely are. And the best part is that we just have a good time talking about anything. That's what I like, right? We can talk about my brand for a couple of seconds, and we just go into life. We go into whatever. That's why I enjoy about it. Same thing with Suran in his lives.
Yeah, Alan hops on a live that I'm on like a couple weeks ago, right? He's like, dude, I get in your live, you guys are talking about schlongs. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yo, every time I jump in one of the lives of Herf Nerders, all I hear is about sausages and schlongs. I'm like, really, guys? Like really?
I'm not cheating on you. I didn't go back to his room. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you know, if his wife wasn't blowing up his phone, he would have been bringing me back.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, who's that white boy there with you? I'm like, hey, he's a redhead. You don't know.
So, Dan's smoking a pipe-sized skull, right? I got a pipe-sized Fenrir right here. Dan and I have a little thing with the, you know, so the pipe size is like 3.5 by 52 or 50. That's a 3.5 by 52, right?
Yep.
Brecky?
Yep.
So, short cigar.
Actually, I did a skull.
Dan and I smoked a 4 by 50 earlier this year, which is probably in our top 5. Dan knows the cigar I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. And ever since that cigar, I kind of like these short, stubby cigars, or even, you know, back in the day, Room 101, Matt Booth called them Papi Chulos, right? That was a small size, like 4.5 by 48, right? Why did you do I know you have the pipe business, right? So you did the pipe size to fit in the pipe.
Yes.
So you told me I got to try the pipe size, and I said, well, I got to go buy a pipe, and you're like, no, you can smoke it on its own, and I smoked it on its own. You know, I'll buy a pipe. You know,
so listen,
on its own, this blend holds up. You could have launched this 3.5 on your own without a pipe.
Yeah. Now the idea came from the pipe, and that's the truth. Okay.
Oh, I'm not used to this camera. I'm always used to using my phone, not a computer camera. So everything's like backwards for me.
So
look at the burn on that skull pipe size.
Yeah, look at that.
I love the way Kubra burns, bro.
So
I
let me tell you
love
this
the
real
way
quick.
Kubra burns.
And this thing is cool to the touch. It's not burning hot.
Yeah. So guys, how the pipe size came was once we had hockey and skull done. I said to Papo, and Jonas was right there, sitting right next to Papo. I said, Papo, I want to see if you could do this in a 3.5 by 52. And he just looked at me and went like this. And Jonas was like, are you fucking crazy? I said, Jonas, was I fucking talking to you? No. Talking to Papo. Right? Right?
He told the factory owner, was I fucking talking to you?
Exactly. I'm talking to Papa, not you. Right? Papa was like this. Of course I can. And Jordan's like, no, you're not. And he's like, yes, I am. You watch. And he went and did it. He's like, smoke these tomorrow morning. And when I smoked it, I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Yes. Most definitely. I was like, most definitely. I want this size in every blend that we have. So we initially were going to start with just 2 sizes. That's the Gran Toro and the Robusto. But when he did this for us, I was like, nah, you crazy? Hell yeah.
So I gotta admit, I've kind of always been a fan of a petite Robusto size, just because, you know, that enhancement in the flavor, the burn on it, it just, you know, the boldness is ramped up just enough that it makes your tongue dance.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I got that with the Frecky pipe size. The Frecky pipe size was, you know,
it's phenomenal.
Tingles. Tingles.
Listen, to me, for whatever reason, guys, I don't understand it yet. I need to speak to Papa more. But to me, Frecky and pipe size is the strongest blend we have. And to me, Fenrir is the strongest blend. But in the pipe size, Frecky just comes alive. He just comes alive. And I don't understand it, but he does. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. Look, when it comes to Skull, actually, I prefer it as a Gran Toro. You know why? Because it's sweet and creamy. Like, from the very beginning. The boldness doesn't get... With the Gran Toro, you get all the transitions. Every single transition that the purpose I blended cigars, the Gran Toro, you get all the transitions. So, the beginning, sweet and creamy. Light notes of chocolate. And you're like, wow, great billow of smoke, full flavor, but mild. And as you keep going through each third, boom, boom, deep
ramp up. Yep.
Ramp up, right? And when I smoked it in Robusto, I'm like, I like it Robusto. Prefer in Gran Toro. When I had it in pipe size, I was like, wow, Skull's amazing in pipe size, but I still prefer Skull for my palate and Gran Toro. Yeah. Now, Fenrir, to me, is the same cigar in all Vitolas. Hoppy, personally, I love this early in the morning in Gran Toro because, again, I get all the transitions of hoppy.
Creamier.
Yeah, yes, right? So I prefer that early in the morning because when you in a pipe size, he kind of comes at you like, hey, how you doing? This is who I am. Right, Gran Toro, you're saying, I don't really know you yet. You have to keep going through all the transitions until you finally get to him.
But on the Frecky, I counted on a 3.5, right? So normally when I smoke, you know, under 4.5, right? I don't do the first third, second third, final third bullshit. I go first half, second half.
That's what I do too. If it's under 5 inches, I just go first half, second half.
You do that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the first half, second half. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so I'm not in,
but is it
on the Frecky, I got 3 strong transitions.
Really?
I got 3 strong on the 3.5 by 52, and you know me, man. Transitions are my thing, bro.
Yeah,
Transitions
of course.
and flavor and complexity of flavor are me and my partner Sev. That's our palates. That's what we like. You know, there's a big discussion where sometimes you want a cigar that's just even, the same thing all the way through. That's good for some people, not for me, right?
Not for me
I like the, you know, but everybody, to each his own, right? So I was so surprised on a 3.5 by 52 with 3 strong transitions. It went smooth in the middle and then ramped up back again. But here's the other thing, what Dan said earlier. Even now, this is so damn cool to the touch in the final third. So damn cool to the touch. Now, you and I had a conversation about that, and it was very, very educational for me as to how Papo did it.
Yeah, I mean, look, when it comes down to when you're blending cigars, right? If your cigar is underfilled at any point, it's going to overheat. That's number one. Okay? Number two, which is extremely important, Papo controls all the rollers. And they all have to follow the same methodology. Right? Wow.
Suran is cool to the touch.
Hey, guys. Are we going to do the sausage thing tonight again? I mean, really?
Hey, I'm only making sure that the people's voice is being heard. That's all. And that was just one of the comments that came in, that Suran's cool to the touch.
No moderator. No moderator,
You know what?
no filter.
You know what? When I finally get to meet Suran in person, I'm going to touch him like this. Okay. All right.
Ice. You know, like, so for those that, if there's pockets in the cigar, it burns
Yo,
hotter.
Kamish. What's up, Kev? Yes, there's pockets in the cigar underfilled.
Yeah, if the cigar is underfilled, you get pockets in the cigar, it burns hotter. Why? Because flames burn hotter with oxygen and air, right? That's why.
Right.
So if you have a good packed cigar, it's going to remain cool to your touch. But also, Papo controls the filler, right?
He controls. Listen, when you got the rollers going through, you have the one people that do the wrapper and the binder, right? Then you have another set of people that do the filler, right? And all they know don't know the brand it belongs to. They only know a number.
Yeah, I've seen that in
trained
factories.
those few rollers that this is this number. This is exactly how it's supposed to be blended. Everybody gets to touch Suran, but me, dang it, wow. So Suran, are you saying you're a slut?
Chalk. She's my bodyguard, man. Chalk's my bodyguard. Chalk's my security detail.
She's security on that. But, back to the, like the transition and stuff, I'm a person, if I'm getting the same flavors throughout this whole cigar, I'm fine with it. But how they come in, maybe they're coming in differently each third, same flavors, but this flavor is now front forward where it was back forward in the first third, and now it's in the middle in the last third, and flavors are the same, but we started out more on a medium, and then we finished, middle, it kind of dropped down to a light medium, and then the final third moved into a medium plus. I'm okay with that. But when it is a flat stick, and if it's a flat stick, to me, that's boring. And I say that about that CAO Mortal Coil all the time. People rave about that stick. For me, it's a boring stick. What I got from the first light is what I got all the way through the entire stick. It didn't change. It just stayed like this. And I smoked numerous ones of them just to make sure it wasn't the cigar. No, that bad stick. It was just a boring stick. It just stayed like this the whole time.
But I don't like that because
LFD Andalusian Bull. LFD Andalusian Bull for me. Great cigar.
Good cigar.
Great everything.
Again, I feel the same way as you. To me, it's a flat stick. It doesn't go anywhere. What you get from the start is what you get at the finish. No transitions. There's no waves in the body of it. It stays right where it's at. And, I'm not a fan of the stick.
Hey, if I was riding a bicycle for 2 hours, that'd be a great cigar. Well, I'm riding a bicycle.
But Dan, you understand why, right? Because, again, how Papo does it. When you want transitions, it comes out how you fold the leaves.
Yes,
what direction you fold them, right? And that plays an important aspect when you want transitions, right? And the problem is
dictated by filler. Dictated by the filler.
Yes.
Dictated by the filler.
Dictated by yeah.
So here's the biggest thing. That's why when a lot of people they just buy whatever's left over in the factory and put their brand on it, right? They don't know what they're getting, right? But when you work in the master blender and you tell them, look, I want transitions. Right? And then you have him explain to you. Don't just tell him you want transitions. Have him explain to you how he actually makes transitions happen. Like when I was doing it with Papo, he spent a good half hour talking with Ernie and I and Sergio, explain how he achieves these transitions. Right? And that really matters. Like let's say you have ligero in your cigar, but you don't put too much in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It depends where you put it in it, the filler.
Yeah.
Is it outer leaf? Is it inner leaf? Right? That all matters. That's all math. That all matters.
People that say they call their cigar medio tempo.
Medio tempo. Medio tempo. Yeah.
Don't tell me that there's medio tempo all the way through. Right? There's somewhere. If they put medio tempo and full blown ligero all the way through, man, it might not be the greatest cigar in the world.
No.
Right?
No.
It's the amount and where you put it. So, oh shit, there's like 30 cop cars out here, man. Whoa. Sorry. So recently, Sev and I were sent a bunch of cigars from a brand, and this brand put out, I'd say, one of our top 10 cigars of all time. Arguably one of my top 5 Lanceros of all time, right? Out of the Dominican, very specific ingredients in the filler, right? If I say the word, you'll know exactly who it. Say the type of tobacco or the treatment of the tobacco, you'll know exactly who it is. So I'm going to leave that out. And awesome cigar. Version 1. Version 2, even better. They used a little bit more of this thing, and they gave it that sweetness and more punch in the middle. Perfect cigar. So they sent us the same cigar. Say, hey, we're thinking about putting these out. One was the same cigar with a broadleaf wrapper. The other one was the same cigar with a San Andreas wrapper, right? One of them was probably the nastiest cigar I've ever had. The other one was okay, but it was completely flat, right? But our response to the brand was, hey, this is not something that I would put out in the market. You're going to ruin, what you had before and everything like that. Which taught me you can't just take, sometimes this is a recipe. It's a culinary thing, right? You can't just change the wrapper and get a good cigar with that flavor profile. It's a dance. You know what I mean?
And you also have to remember something too. Not all brands, some brands are infamous for doing this, but something that I heard in DR from a few different master blenders and owners. We don't blend cigars for our palates. We blend cigars for the American people palates, and then we blend different cigars for the European people palates. Mm-hmm. And they said because the Americans, all they want is full body. They don't care about flavor.
I heard that. Now that's something I agree with partially. I think a lot of that is this newer generation of smokers want full body, blow your palate out smokes. Long-term smokers that have been smoking for a long time, that's not what we want. Now, I do enjoy those sticks, but I enjoy a nice variation of a bunch of different sticks. I don't want every stick I smoke to be bolder, harsher, brasher than the one I just smoked before. That's this new generation of smokers out there that have come along in the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, but it's also, as they mature as smokers, they then get to experience the different nuances.
Yes.
On a medium body cigar versus a medium full or full body cigar. And I'll tell you from my experience, a year and a half ago, right, I got the Blackbird sampler and I smoked the Jackdaw the last, right, because I thought it was the least appealing to me as a cigar smoker. These days, I might pull Jackdaw the first, right, because I've gotten to understand the variety and the nuances to truly enjoy a good Connecticut cigar.
Yes, and it's it is, the Jackdaw is one of my favorite Connecticut smokes out there. It is very reminiscent of the old school Camacho Connecticut. Is where I put it at. If people go, well, what's it like? I go, did you ever smoke the old school Camacho back when it was part of Christian Aurora's, when he was manufacturing it? that's what this Jack Draw is like.
Well,
It just not as heavy.
I have a buddy of ours, just really started getting into cigars. You've seen him on all the lives, right? He really likes the cigar you had the other day, which I think was a Curavari. Dan, didn't you have that over the weekend? Was that you?
No, that wasn't me. That was Seth. Seth was smoking that Curavari.
Right. So this guy loves Curavari, right? And one of our buddies sends him a Monte Cristo #2. Right. So he lights it up. He's in his car. He's driving, smoking a Monte Cristo #2, and he goes, "This sucks," and he throws it out the window. And we're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I can't taste shit." I'll throw it out the window.
Yeah, I've done that quite a few times. So, hey, Dan, I have a question for you, because I know Suran's a fan. He loves the cigars we make. So now you're the second one. You like them?
Dude, I'm
Be real.
totally into this. So that Fenrir, fan freaking tastic. I mean, I smoked that down to where my fingers were burning. I mean, I went down deep on that. So now I'm on the Skull. And this one's a really good stick too, but I think I like the Fenrir a bit better than I like the Skull.
Sumatra. I will say this: the Fenrir for me is one of the better expressions of that kind of Sumatra that I've had. Sumatra is difficult, guys. Ecuador Sumatra is sweeter, earthier and stuff like that, right? You go to the original Sumatra is crazy from Indonesia.
It's funny you say that,
right?
And that's what this is. I mean, this is actually Indonesian Sumatra, so So
right, but it's spicy.
Now, yes, but now listen. I'm glad you said this, because when Papa was blending the cigar, he said to me, "This is not easy what I'm doing here with Sumatra, because to get this flavor profile that you wanted, working the Sumatra wrapper and binder, I had to balance it out with the
Criollo.
Cubano 98. Cubano 98 helped balance it out majorly. Okay, with the Corojo and the Negro Ligero kick in, but the Cubano 98 was actually helped balance out the Sumatra with the Corojo and the Ligero in it. And he says, because this is hard, because doing a Sumatra right, full flavor that's not going to bore you, it's not easy.
Yeah, or be full of pepper. Right?
But the thing I got to say about the Fenrir, it did not have that overly earthiness that a lot of the Indonesian Sumatra gets, where that overly earthiness overtakes and it kind of drowns out, like he was saying, to get that blend in, where it drowns out a lot of the other flavors on it.
Dude,
now, the one thing about the Skull
comes off the side of a volcano. That's why it's so earthy.
And
it comes off the side of a volcano.
The one thing that I got to say that I like about the Skull is the aroma off the foot. It is like getting pure caramel, just that smell, and
Kubra.
I love that.
Kubra, man, fucking
it's
Kubra,
just
bro.
That right there for me is a huge turn on. Is that it's just like somebody's just pouring liquid caramel in front of my nose, and I'm just I
get that with a lot of Brazilian tobacco, bro. I get that deep, sweet caramel.
And I'm not the biggest fan of Brazilian tobacco. But I got to say, I'm a big fan on this, because my issue I usually have with Brazilian tobacco is that it tends to be, the coffeeness tends to be way too heavy for me, and there tends to be a lot of drowning of other flavors. This is blended nicely. I'm still picking up that coffee, but it's there. It's not overwhelming the palate. I'm picking up so much more.
For me, there's a big difference between Kubra, Arapicara, and Marafina, right?
Yep.
Because I think Kubra is Cuban Corojo that's grown in Brazil, right?
I don't know off the top of my head, so I won't tell you yes or no, because I don't know.
Kubra comes from Cuban and Brazil.
Okay. I did not know that.
Hey, I'm glad. All right, with this, I'm out, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, you told me something new there. But you know what?
You know.
And Suran, let me ask you your opinion. Since he loved Fenrir, I think that he would love Frecky and pipe size.
Knowing Dan and knowing how I watched his reaction on this 4x50, the greenie. I remember the guy was the spit was going from his mouth all the way to the ground while he was.
No, it was off the first draw, and everybody says it's the greatest reaction they've ever seen to a first draw of a cigar.
Yeah, he's like, what?
It was.
If you watch his reviews, oh yeah, you know.
I really think that Frecky and pipe size is going to hit you right where you
go. I smoked Brecky and pipe size last Thursday, and I remember I for the very first time I smoked a cigar in the morning. Right, because of my job, I can't smoke a cigar in the morning. I was like, you know what, fuck it. I pulled an all-nighter, a shitty day. I'm gonna, get to the office. I'm gonna take 45 minutes. What can I smoke in 45 minutes? Oh, look at this thing, right? Blew me up. I remember I fucking texted you. I was like, this is fucking crazy, bro. The cigar is crazy. I think I gave it a 91, right? And what people don't realize is I have 7 categories, right? And for me to give it a perfect score, either a 10 or 20 in each category, it's very difficult. So right off the bat, 93 is a perfect score, right? That means I docked points in 2 categories on that cigar. I can't remember which one's off the top of my head, right? But for me, that cigar hit everything. It didn't feel like I was smoking a 3.5.
And listen, once you guys get a pipe, trust me, when you smoke the cigar in the pipe, or any cigar, I'm going to tell you guys right now, any cigar you put in the pipe at the 3.5 inch level, 2.5 inch level, I promise both of you, I'll give you guys my word, you don't know that cigar yet. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you put the cigar in the pipe at the 2.5 to 3 inch level, it creates a seal between the wood and the cigar. No air. Right now, you get air to the sides. You get no air. Pure tobacco. That means the flavor profile just went like this. The strength profile just went like this. And the draw has drastically increased. So let's say you're used to going, right? You do one, and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, all that smoke just comes right to your mouth. And most people who have a pipe will say the same thing, like, holy shit, Alan's right.
I have to try this out now. Because he's Dan, very rarely do I pull out my perfect draw tool. I never use it to change my draw. The only reason I have a perfect draw tool is to stick it in the side of the cigar and get the most out of the cigar. Very few people living in the world have witnessed me pull out that perfect draw. He's one of them, right? On a couple of cigars. You know what I mean? So,
and I know, but you've gone all fancy on that. I use a drill bit for a perfect draw tool, and I use a roofing nail as a nubber.
I think we need to upgrade our status.
Oh no, man! That's the way you gotta run. That's the way you gotta run it. Now, I've never done a pipe the way you guys do cigar pipes before. Now, I have a regular pipe that I take. If it's a really good stick, I take it, I'll tear it apart with my fingers and put it in and smoke it like regular pipe tobacco.
Yeah. Now, so let me tell you, I'm going to give you a quick story about Papo and me. Okay? So we gave Papo a gift, his own pipe. Okay? Now, he did something in front of me. I tell everybody, because to this day, I'll forever be impressed by this man. He's the one who taught me how to do retros perfectly. Okay? I'm telling you that right now. When he does a retro in his office.
You told me this. Yeah.
He goes boom, right? Out. He does this. Out, back in, and out again.
He inhaled
double retro. He inhaled the retro and exhaled it again through his nose.
What the fuck?
Right? No tear. Full smoke. Now, I did this to him. Give me a cigar. I took a cigar. I put it in the pipe. I said, do it again. He did it, and he was like... I was like, yeah! Right?
That's awesome, bro.
when he finished smoking, I said to him, "What'd you taste differently?" He says the first thing he said to me, "It was more smoke. It was more intense. I tasted flavors that I did not taste before." And he's like, "I'm gonna use this as my tasting tool when I'm making new blends."
Damn. Whoa.
When I'm making new blends, I'm gonna use it as my tasting tool because again, no air. Just imagine a full seal between the cigar and the pipe. You're getting literally every flavor.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I gotta say, I think the pipe size, the way they're manufactured, and the way you guys have made a pipe specifically for cigars is one of the most brilliantly genius ideas of man-made history.
But let's keep this right. The way he's designed a pipe is to finish off the cigar, not start off.
Yes.
Right.
Not
it's to finish off the cigar. We're not going to sit here, like back in the 50s with the women with their.
No. That's not what this was meant for.
No.
Okay.
Gentlemen.
Thank you.
This is awesome.
So much.
I have to leave because I got to close up shop here and I got to go fight the wars at home. But man, Dan, thanks for having me with this incredible human being, bro. Alan, and I mean that. I'm not just saying that because you're a brand and, I need to suck up to you. I don't give a shit about that.
Now, we family, bro. What are you talking about? We family,
listen,
you and I. Danny and I are family. Come on.
But this the cigars, for me, they're incredibly constructed. I remember when I got when I got the 5-pack in, I sat there, sniffed all the cigars. I looked at the wrappers. I looked at the construction, the Fenrir, especially with the pigtail, closed foot, box press. You know what I mean? Look, congratulations. I am so proud and happy.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
all
you
I can
so
say.
much,
and I wish you the most success so we can enjoy this for many, 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 many years to come. It is awesome. What a great... all five.
I want to tell you this real quick. Before you hang up, I appreciate your brotherhood more than anything else. And I'm being real. Like, the fact that we exchange numbers, the fact that we talk. As a matter of fact, Dan, I need to get your number too, motherfucker. That being said, this is what I respect and love about this business.
Yeah. I mean,
muted.
I love it.
Suran, you're muted. Suran, I don't hear you.
We don't hear you. You're muted. I think he was paired in with his earpods, and I think the earpods died. So
yeah, change your audio. I think you have to go to more and change your audio.
But I agree. Yeah, no, because the more I started thinking about the pipes after I was looking at them at your display that you had set up, and the more I started thinking about it, I just started thinking how brilliant of an idea that is. Because I know there's a lot of cigar smokers like me out there that like to finish off a really good stick in a pipe. And I just started thinking, I go, Suran, appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate you, brother.
That, I don't like to have to cut. I don't like to have to cut where the ash is off to get to it. But to just stick it into a pipe and finish it off, it's just such a great idea. It's less messy. And
look,
on top of that, you're getting to continue with the greatness.
Bro.
Yeah.
You see how low I smoke it down to?
Yeah. I got pretty close with that other one. And that was just my fingers. That's how good that stick was. And I got to say, that's one of the most brilliant, ingenious ideas in the history of man, right there. You could put that with the pyramids. You could put that with certain bridge structures.
And I give all the credit for that to my business partner and brother Ernie, because this was his child, and yes, a lot of my input came into this, but this was his design. This is his. Matter of fact, the patent that we have, he's the designer, the architect on that. You know what I mean? And God bless him for his skills that he has, and the person that he is. You know, and I want to tell you this too, Dan. Like, I was ecstatic for you to smoke our cigars, and you know, I've been asking you, did you do it yet? Did you do it yet? You're like, no, I'm gonna wait. But I'm glad that you enjoyed them, man. Not to sound cocky, I was hoping I kind of knew you would, but it wasn't that being cocky about it, because I know that listening to you talk about cigars, watching your lives, watching your YouTube videos, I knew that your palate was very developed. So I knew that you were going to start picking up the notes, the transitions, and understand what we were aiming for.
I totally get what you're aiming for. You know, coming into the nub on this one, the transition into the nub, fantastic. The spices that weren't there in the first the first 2/3 of this.
Yep.
Now are coming into play. The sweetness that the mild sweetness from the start has now picked up, mixing with those spices beautifully. Like, just the nub portion of this, it's a completely different smoke than what it was from the first 2/3. And but I didn't develop that palate overnight. And thank you so much there, Chuck, for that. But it took me years and years and years, and people always go, I never picked those flavors up that you pick up. And I'm like, you'll get there eventually. I tell people this a lot. When I started in on my journey over 20 years ago on cigars,
yeah,
I didn't really go into anything heavy or full body till I was about 5 years into smoking. It was out of my comfort level. To me, it was too much, and I didn't feel I could handle that. And then one day I picked up a more fuller bodied stick and smoked it, and it was a completely different and unique experience for me. And I realized it was something that I could do, because the ones that I had tried prior to that, I just don't think my palate was ready to handle that.
So, funny story real quick. So, when my boy Keith got me cigars, that's the one I was commuting back and forth to work with, right? He started upping the body on the cigars he had given me, and upping it. He was waiting for me to get nauseous. He was waiting for me to get woozy, right? And at one point, do you remember the cigar when it first came out? I don't know if you've been smoking that long. Rocky Patel, The Edge.
Yes.
Do you remember when it first came out?
Late aughts, early 2010 is around there.
Okay. So, I was smoking that, no problem. I was smoking the Monte Cristo, no problem. Whatever cigar he threw at me, I would get out the car with him. He's waiting for me to say, bro, I'm lightheaded. Bro, I'm nauseous. At one point, he says, bro, you can smoke fucking tree bark and fucking be fine. And he's like, and you still get the freaking notes in the cigar. How the hell you do it? I said, I have a high nicotine tolerance, I guess. I don't know. And off that subject, I want to tell you, you know what happened at PCA that I didn't talk about that touched my heart? I almost cried. Real talk.
Okay.
Paul, one of the owners of Atlantic Cigars, right? You know, they're one of the biggest online retailers, right?
Yes.
And when I met him, they had that lounge in Strasbourg I told you about, and his brothers and his workers. Bro, when I saw him walk by me, he didn't recognize me. I was like, Paul! He turned around, he looked at me up and down. He's like, Alan? I lost a lot of weight. I was 400 plus pounds when he saw me back then, right? And he was like, Alan? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, bro, you got your own brand? I'm like, yeah, I lost contact with you. I was trying to find your information. He grabbed cigars, he grabbed the price list. He goes, we'll be ordering from you soon, in the next few weeks. And I'm like, don't you want to taste some cigars first? He says to me, bro, I remember how anal you were. I remember how anal your palate was, and you just started smoking back then. He goes, I already know you made fire. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase from you. Then he brings his cigars back. His worker that's been working for him for over 14 years now, James, calls me. James like, congratulations. What's up? catching up. He says, bro, when he told me you had your own brand, I knew you would do some great shit. But honestly, I didn't realize how fucking great you did it. And I'm impressed. And we'll be carrying your cigars soon. Like, you know, that to me speaks volumes of the cigar community, because I haven't talked to them in over 10 years.
Yeah.
In over 10 years, I didn't speak to those guys. Since I moved to Miami. Because when I moved to Miami, we moved down here. See, I didn't see this in the car earlier. We moved to Miami, bro. We lost all our furniture in PA. Foreclosed. Our house, we paid $220,000 for the house. When the economy crashed, we lost the house. It got sold for $30,000. Bro, we came to Miami with just a broken down 1985 Volvo with no AC. With the clothes that we could take with us, our TVs that we took with us, we lost everything else. We lost everything else. We had to rebuild from there. Thank you, Chuck. It's true. And when he told that to me, he almost made me cry. But it was just like, bro, he's like, you're family. And I already know. And that to me was like, wow. Because they were a major instrument into me in the cigar world. The way they treat me like family, the way I was allowed to go into the back office all the time, hang out with them, just bullshit. They treated me like family since day one.
And that's important. And like Chalk just posted in that chat there, trust and validation. They knew it. They knew if you put something out, it was gonna be fire. It was gonna be something that they wanted to be a part of. And congratulations to you on that, because those guys, they're a huge retail shop. You know, that is great for you. That's great for your business, and it only validates what you've done, the hard work that you've put into building the brand that you've built. And I think that shows a lot, and it shows what the people of this community are all about. You know, is that your reputation precedes yourself on that, you know. Now, I don't remember if you said this earlier or not. Do you remember your first stick you ever smoked?
It was a Cuban cigar, the exact brand. What was Chuck said? I don't even have another sister in me. You didn't ask for it, but you're here now. And yo, Chuck, thank you so much. For real, listen, that touches me, because like, you see how I am. This is literally who I am. There's no front. I mean, Danny saw me drunk. Danny saw me sober. This is who I am. You know, what I really care about is relationships, connections, family. Yes, I'm a businessman. Yes, I want to build a successful business. But in reality, this is what I live for right here. Because look, trust me, I'm already. Danny already knows this. I said it to him, and I mean it. For my next blend, I'm gonna try to get his ass to come with me. Yeah. And prepare your palate, because your palate's gonna be wrecked.
We'll see how fast it takes to wreck my palate.
No, if you don't wake up the next morning like I woke up, I'm gonna be really impressed. Because the next one is me. Yo, come here.
Yo, hey, how you doing? Yes, I know. Exactly. You sound like one of those your voice sounds like a tranny. Hey, Daddy, how are you? Yeah, you going? Hey, looking for some fun? Oh, this girl wants to party. She's drinking hard alcohol and smoking. That's my kind of girl right there. Yeah.
Listen, the second morning, I had my coffee with some rum in it, because I needed to soothe my throat. It was so raw.
Yeah. Now, I remember my first sticks. My first sticks were when I was 18 years old. I skipped school. And I drove to the cigar shop in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I walked in. And I told them, today's my 18th birthday. I don't know anything about this, but I really want to learn. And so they gave me 3 sticks and said, try these. And if you like them after you smoke them, then come back. I said, okay. How much are you? Free. Like it's crack. You know, hey, first hit's free. I said, all right.
Wow.
So they gave me a Padron Natural 2000, a Camacho Connecticut, and an Oliva Series G Cameroon. Those were the 3 sticks they gave me.
Wow, so you remember? Wow.
3 sticks. I smoked that Padron first. I was hooked. I didn't need to smoke the other two. I was hooked after that one. The next 2 days later, I smoked the Camacho. I was like, dude, that's good too. And then I went back in. I hadn't even smoked that Oliva yet. And I went back in and I bought more. And they're like, it was good. I go, it was phenomenal. I don't know. And that sent me down this rabbit hole.
You know what's funny you say that? I don't remember all the brands I smoked. I smoked a shit ton of cigars in 22 years. But here's what I can tell you. When I had my first Cuban, it got me intrigued. That was my first cigar. It was a Cuban. Now, what brand it was, I don't remember. It got me intrigued. When I met my friend Keith, the one that was been smoking for double the time I've been smoking, when he started giving me cigars, what I could tell you that from the very beginning, this I remember. Cubans didn't attract my palate because the notes were too subtle from my palate back then. The notes were just way too subtle for me, right? It was the fuller body sticks, but again, lessons learned for the past 22 years. The full body sticks was the ones that attracted me because they were fuller in flavor. Not because they were full body, because they were full in flavor is why they attracted me. Which is why I was so gung-ho set on making full flavor cigars, not full body cigars, just to prove a point. The point was, you don't need to smoke a full body cigar to get full flavor.
No. You don't have to.
And that was the point that I was shooting for.
Yeah, I agree completely on that. And I've never really been the biggest fan of Cuban cigars. You know, for me, there are a lot of overhype, and I think a lot of the hype is because, you know, well, they're illegal, and for me, and I said this, I don't actively seek them out. And, you know, the Partagas Series D is my jam. That's about the only one that if I'm going to seek one out, that's the one I'll seek out.
Have you had the H. Upton Magnum 54?
I have. And it's a really good stick. It's okay. It's a good stick. It's a good stick. But, you know.
I would say for me, that's my favorite. Of all the Cubans I smoked, H. Upton Magnum 54, the
I like
Monte
the connoisseurs. I like the connoisseur series from H. Upman a lot.
Well, I like the B, not the A. I don't like the A. The B, yes. A, no. The Monte Cristo 1935, Leyenda. Ooh, man.
That's a banging stick right there. You know?
That is a banging. It is hard to find. But that's a banging ass.
It is a banging stick. Yeah. See,
you know what
here, I got the number tool going.
There you go. It works. You know what stick I don't like that so many people love? And I actually hate it. I detest it. The Monte Cristo number 2.
I'm not the biggest Monte Cristo guy out there. You know, I see the appeal in a lot of the Cuban Monte Cristo line stuff. But for me, most of what they manufacture is way too light on the body, and the flavors just don't pop the way I want a flavor in a cigar to pop. You know, and you know, like you said, the 1935, that stick, it pops. And I'm like, this is what they should be like. The rest of them, you know, to me, a lot of the regular line Monte Cristo stuff, it all tastes the same to me. There's not really much. It's light coffee, light wood, light earth, you know.
But you know what people tell me all the time? You have to let it age for 3 years. I'm like, bro, I could die tomorrow. How the fuck I'm going to buy these cigars and leave my humidor for 3-4 years and say, oh, I finally like it?
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, it's like, well, this was manufactured in 2017. It's been 5 years. Well, but it hasn't been in your humidor for 5 years. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
I shouldn't have to wait. I shouldn't have to wait. You should be able to send me the stick, and I should be able to pick it up at any time and smoke it, and it should be enjoyable. I shouldn't have to wait 3 years, 5 years, 10 years on a stick. You know, it's just not something that appeals to me. And that's kind of the other thing, you know. And of course, Cuban guy, I can't stand Cuban guy. Cuban, it's not a real cigar unless it's Cuban. No, it's not. But they always have to throw in one New World stick that they go, I like that. It's okay. And I'm like, because this Cuban guy usually always throws in like a Padron. Some Padron line goes, It's good. No, it's not. It's phenomenal. You don't have to. No, Cuban guy, no. You know, I can't stand Cuban guy because it's all about, oh, this stick, oh, Cuban. I'm like, no, it's a boring stick.
You know, it's so funny you say that, man, because like I was on this Cuban trip for almost like 9 months, and I was trying to listen to what everybody was teaching me about Cuban cigars, and to be honest with you, I just really wasn't impressed. And I know what my friend Keith told me, because he's been smoking 40 years. He says to me, Alan, if you smoke the Cubans that I smoked 30 years ago, 20 years ago, they're different sticks than today. And he goes, and it's sad. And it's sad that you can't taste what I tasted decades ago.
Yeah.
And I said,
I've noticed the change in
right.
them. I've noticed the change in them since I've been smoking. You know, when I worked for Reynolds Tobacco, you know, the Cubans that I would buy in the Dominican always seemed to have, they were different and they seemed to be better. But then as I've gotten on, you know, the last time I was in the Dominican and I picked up some Cubans, I'm like, you know, it's just, they're just not, they just don't hit the right way. I go, you know, you can tell how they've changed over the years. And I think a lot of that is they've catered more now to that European market and that European palate. So they tend to go lighter on the body, lighter on the taste, and tend to have more neutral flavoring to them than what they used to have.
But guess what? The European market's changing. They're starting to bring in cigars from us now.
Yeah.
They're starting to bring them in.
They are. And, you know, I send sticks out to my friends in the UK and Germany and Switzerland because they can't get these sticks here. And I'm like, yeah, let me send them to you. And, you know, and they're like, yeah, I wish I could buy this stuff here. This is so good. This is so different than anything I've smoked. I'm like, yeah, I mean, then again, you send me these European exclusives that are phenomenal, and I think I should be able to buy them here because this is America, and I should have the best that's available, not you in Europe.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that because I've had a few European exclusives. I ain't gonna lie to you. A few of them were damn good.
They are
damn good.
You know, the Balmoral 29 year with that 29-year aged wrapper on it. Stick's phenomenal. I'm like, I should be able to buy this. I should be able to go to any store and pick this stick up. It shouldn't only be available in Germany and Austria and Switzerland and stuff. It shouldn't only be available there. It should be available at any store I go to.
Agreed. 100%. But it's
Alan,
not like that.
I appreciate you coming on, man. I had such a blast with you. Man, make sure you guys go check out the website, Family by Loyalty. They definitely will blow your mind if you haven't had the sticks. They get my thumbs up of approval. That skull, that final bit in that nub is perfect.
I tell you, when you taste Frecky and pipe size, you're gonna see.
It was good. And man, Alan, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I really appreciate you making the time to come on and hang out with us. And I hope some people out there, you've not been familiar with the brand, you're now familiar with the brand. You definitely go check them out. If your local brick and mortar doesn't have it, you do direct sale, correct, off your website?
Yes.
You can buy directly from Alan. And, of course, you know, when you buy from the manufacturer, you do save some coin.
So, and not just that, you know, I would say this to you guys. It's something that we said at the beginning of this conversation. Listen, if you do enjoy it, you do love it, let your local brick and mortar know about us, right? Especially to carry boutique brands. But if they don't carry boutique brands, I'll be honest with you, I probably don't want to be in the shop because I don't want to make the same mistake a lot of brand owners done. I've been taught by Jonas directly, and other, like James has given me a lot of feedback from Sinistro. When you're at a store that only buys once because they don't promote boutique, that's not good for us.
No.
We want to be at stores that promote boutiques.
That promote it. And guys, you got to go to that other side of the humidor when you go to your local brick and mortar. You got to pick up those sticks on the other side of the humidor. Don't just get swayed in by the stuff that's in the front part. Go to the back where they put the boutique stuff. Go to that bottom shelf. because that's where the goods are at.
Yep.
You already know how good Padron and Fuente and all those other brands are.
Expand
Find
your
out the
palate.
greatness. That's right. Find the greatness that is in the boutique brands. Because I gotta tell you, I couldn't compare those two sticks I just smoked. I couldn't compare them to anything that's already out in the market from a legacy brand. They are different and unique, and they stand on their own. And you guys are watching and know me. No, I don't bullshit around. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But I would have also told you that the flavors aren't in my these flavors were all in my wheelhouse. Both sticks hit me differently and at different times, but they were both phenomenal sticks. Ones that I highly recommend that you go and pick up, because it's going to be a great experience. You may not like everything, like Alan said, you may not like everything that he puts out, but go get that 5-pack sampler of everything. There's got to be a few in there that are going to be just right in your wheelhouse and what you like. Those two, right in my wheelhouse. I can almost guarantee that everything else he makes probably going to hit me in the same way too. I'm probably going to like everything.
I appreciate that. Hey, guys, thank you for supporting love. Thank you for supporting love that you give Danny. As you guys already know, he's an amazing person, not just in his lives and in person as well. What you see with him is what you get. So, keep up the support of him. I support him, and not because he just now smoked my cigars in his live, okay? I supported him before that because of his realness. And people like him is the people that we got to support in the cigar community. So, thank you, bro.
I appreciate it.
You got love from us, bro.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I never set out to do this to be famous. I never set out to do this to get free stuff.
But you are famous, though.
I set out to do this because I wanted to showcase brands like yours, to get people to go to that other side of the humidor in the cigar shop. You
could tell that, though. You could tell that the way you are. But the fact is, bro, because of the way you are, you're famous now. Appreciate that. A little bit.
I've had a hard time accepting that, and I'm working on accepting the fact that, yeah, I'm a name people come to when they want to know more about a boutique brand. I'm the guy they're going to come to, because I'm going to be honest with them about it. I'm going to tell them what I think. I'm not going to bullshit around. And just like I've told, my friends that have started putting out blend, Suran with his stick, I was open and honest with them. I've told them it's one of the best sticks I've smoked this year, and I truly mean that. Phil and Ken from the Herflocker, I told them, I go, like, the stick's not really what I like, but I understand the stick. I get it. It's a good stick. It's not a stick that I would probably myself want to smoke, but I know that a lot of morning smokers would love this stick. You got to pay. If you're a morning smoker with your coffee, this is a stick you got to pick up. It's a breakfast stick. I'm not going to lie to people about what I think, because there's too many people out there that pretend to do this, that lie, because they just want to get free stuff. And I hear it from manufacturers like you all the time, because I get asked by guys like you all the time, what do you know about this guy? I'm like, I don't know anything about him. I don't know who he is. I'm like, oh, that guy's a stick hunter. I'm honest. I'm not trying to stop anybody from doing or getting what they're trying to do out there. But, at the end of the day, the fake people out there make my job a lot harder, because I'm out there to earn your trust. I'm out here to try and help you sell cigars. I want people to try your stuff. I want, even brands that make sticks I don't really like, I still want to support them. I still want people to buy their sticks, because I know there are people out there that would enjoy what they put out. Just because it's not for me doesn't mean I'm not here to help. I'm here to help. I want to help. I want people to buy your stuff.
And it comes across in every live that you do. Trust me. I've been watching you. I've been following you before we even met in person, and you're doing it, man. So much blessings to you, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Keep that humility. Keep that passion, because that's going to keep making you who you are. You know what I mean? And it's the same with me. What you see is what you get.
It is. And I loved meeting you. It was an honor for me to meet you out there. I enjoyed hanging out with you. I learned a lot from talking to you and getting to really know your brand out there a lot more. And I really think more people need to jump on the Family by Loyalty brand, because I think
Thank you,
it's a
brother.
brand that represents what we are in the community. We're a small community, but I think we're the best community because we all look out for each other. The people out
100%.
there. When somebody dies in the community, even though we didn't know them, I feel it in my heart because that's one less of us out there. And that was somebody who's doing good within our community. The Chicago crew, what they were doing during COVID, taking the time out of their day to make lunches for all the kids that rely on school lunches for their meal because their parents can't afford the food, and go and drive into the school so that the kids can go and pick up food so they'd have something to eat for the day. That's what our community is about. We're all about giving and loving and sharing, and I hope I've turned people onto sticks that they never would have thought of smoking before. And I know that watching a lot of other people out there, they've turned me on to stuff that I've never heard of before. And I'm glad that they have.
Yeah. All right, man. It was a pleasure, brother.
It was a
We're going to
pleasure.
talk soon. You know that. We're going to talk soon.
Oh, I know we will. Guys, if you're going to be around Thursday night, be back over here on Facebook, on Twitter Thursday night. Keelan, EKB from the Vintage Cigar will be the guest. So come hang out with Keelan and I as we talk social media, we talk cigars, we talk him living in Japan and his exploits going around Japan and how their cigar culture is in Japan. It'll be a good time. So I hope to see you guys here Thursday night, same time. Guys, that's it for tonight. Alan, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you,
Be
brother.
safe out there.
You too.
Don't do anything Alan and I wouldn't do. And as always, guys, peace out.
Peace out.